Hey, this is Steve Overgard, and I'm at 208 Biltmore, and we are finishing up this crawl space, and I'm looking happy because we've been here for about 3 weeks, and it feels good to do a good job and to finish up. Here's some of the tools of the trade. That's a 3-foot crowbar, just used for brute leverage and for pulling things loose that don't want to come loose. And then there's a shorter one too that works better in the shorter spaces. Beside it is a hydraulic jack. We use lots of these. These are demolition bits that go in the reciprocating saw. We burned through quite a few of those. I put an order in the other day to restock, and it was about $600 between the different blades and for 2 different saws, the reciprocating saw and the oscillating saw. But we do burn through them. This is the area just to the left of the crawl door. If you come in the crawl door and you turn left going clockwise, this is the area here. It's up underneath the bedroom, and you can see that most of these joists have been now replaced. And what we do is we just go right up alongside the other joist, kind of holds everything upright. And then we put 3 screws like that in about every 16 inches. It holds it nice and secure. So this is up under the bedroom still. We got new blocking in there as well. The purpose of the blocking is to keep the joist from rolling left to right, keeps them standing upright. So we're in real good shape all through there. One of the things I wanted to talk about is the wiring under the house is original wiring. So there are sections of it that are of concern. You should talk to an electrician about this to see if you should do anything with the wiring. Anything that we saw that particularly we wanted the electrician to notice, we would hang a little piece of surveyor's tape on it, so the electrician could easily find the areas that were of concern. This is a good place here to show the condition of some of the original joists, just in really compromised condition. A few of them you can see good here from the backside. I'm still working my way around clockwise. This is if you're looking at the house from the street, this would be the front right. And mainly the work up in this area was just putting the blocking between the joist to keep the joist from rolling. So we did. Every single joist pocket has now got a solid block. And I'm still at that in the front right corner, but what you see here is the whole length of the house on the front side. We put another section of center beam in. The original center beam was 3 2x10s, and they're staggered over the piers, and so we put a 4th 2x10 and went the whole length of the house. These are called timber locks, and they have a little star drive head on them, and they are just super strong screws that have good strength to bind the 2x10s together, but they also have an enormous shear strength as well. So they're the fastener of choice in a lot of places. This is a good example of a concern of the wire that really should be looked at by an electrician. When we put these back, when we staple these back to the joist, we're stapling them back kind of on the loose, because I don't want to bear down on those and risk piercing the insulation. So we're hanging them up with hangers. Well, we're not hammering them in tight. This is just a note, because I don't know. There's a garden hose that comes out of the sump pump area, and it goes down here and it dumps out kind of opposite of the crawl door. I'm not sure what the point of that is. I'm just curious. Doesn't look right to me, but I don't know. This is still in the front right. I'm about 1/4 of the way down, but you can notice this joist here. We replaced the whole thing, and we did it with a double joist. So that is super sturdy. Next joist over is all brand new. You can tell the original work, because the original work looks like that. And then there'd been some prior repairs, so it's a little different color. That one there was different color. And then we get another joist there, another one there, another one there. I'm about a third of the way down the house now. Still working my way around clockwise. Just pointing out some more new work there. And then this is at the center beam, and I'm looking back towards the crawl door. We replaced some stuff in this area, and to make it all work out right, this one was 1 replacement, this one was 3, the next one over was 4, and the next one over was 2 on top of 2. So we've got some really good structure right here. If we're attacked by the Russians, I advise that you come into your crawl space. You'll be safe. Very sturdy. Some more tools of the trade. You probably heard this going on when you were in the house when we were working the circular saw. We try to cut everything outside, but in cases, if we have a big timber or something like that that we need to cut, instead of dragging it out of the house, cutting and dragging it back in, sometimes we just bring the saw in. Everything is battery operated. Cut it right here on the spot. We use the grinder to cut the nails that are coming down from the floor above. If the nails coming down are in our way, we just grind them out. And that saw there is called a reciprocating saw, and then the one behind it is an oscillating saw. The oscillating saw is like a surgeon's scalpel. You can make very precise cuts, and we use that in some cases. I'm about center way down, still working my way around clockwise. It's just some more work, more new work there. As you can compare to the original stuff there. At some point in time, I believe that anything that's not been replaced will probably continue to deteriorate over time. So at some point in time, we should probably come back and look at some of the original work to make sure it's still structurally sound. Right now it is. All right, and here's a whole bunch of new work here. This is about center way on the front of the house, looking to the back. And you can see I'm going to turn around the other way so you can compare the old and new. These are blocks that we have cut, and they're ready to be put up in between the joist right there, because we went through and we did every single one except for these 5, and we're doing those now. This is a good place to compare the original joist with the new joist right beside it. In this case, we doubled it up. This was one that was done by another company prior, and then this is an original right there. And then we went over here to the next one over, and then we did new stuff here, and this is all doubled up as well. It's probably making you dizzy, this view. You'll notice special fasteners on this section of the center beam, this 14-foot section of the center beam. And when I get around to the back of the house, I'll explain how that came about. This is another great place to look at the original joist and the new joist. That's the original, and of course that's the new right beside it. Quite a difference. All right, I'm still in the front, and I'm on left third. You can see all the new work here. We don't see anything that's structurally unsound that has not been addressed. Comparing the underside of the original joist with the new joist. And the side of the original joist beside the new joist. This one here was actually cracked. 100% failure. And in this section, you can see some of the prior repair work. The company that did the prior repair work had a little bit different technique, so we can tell our work from their work. And you see a bunch of their new work here. And then when we got over now at the left side, the complete left side of the house in the front still, and you can see our new work there. This is the back left side of the house. You just notice all this spaghetti wire before we finish, Mike will come back here and neaten this area up quite a bit and staple the wires loosely to the joist. All right, and this is the back side of the center beam 14-foot section that we were talking about a little while ago. What's going on here is the original center beam was 3 2x10s sandwiched together, nailed together. And we put a fourth one on the front of the house, the whole length of the house. In this 14-foot section, in my opinion, there was some deterioration of the 3 original 2x10s. So what we did here is we took those big hydraulic jacks and we pressed up right in this area. We built a little cradle. We pressed up, and then we took 2 of the original compromised 2x10s out, and we put 2 brand new ones in, and then we drilled through all 4, because we have 4 then. We drilled through all 4, and we put these big heavy 1/2-inch carriage bolts all the way through with a washer and a nut on the other side, and then we drew everything up really tight with an impact driver. So this is the new 14-foot section of the center beam. Just something to note here, this pier, the piers are every 7 feet. This pier is a little bit crooked. It could have been built that way. It could have shifted, sometime over the last 40 years. But it is crooked. It is bearing weight. Don't advise that you do anything with it other than, periodically monitor it and make sure it's not getting any more crooked. When we put the new section of center beam in, we notched out the center beam so that it would follow the contour of the pier. All right, difficult to see what's going on here, but this is up near the chimney, and what we got here is normally the joist will rest on the sill plate, and since there's a chimney here, there is no sill plate. The originals were just nailed into the band board, and so we put special hardware on there called joist hangers and Tico hangers, so they're physically attached more securely. This is the last section of subfloor that we need to address. This is in the closet area. We've already talked about it, and when we do the floor in the hallway and the closet, we'll take care of this section of rotted subfloor.